Have you ever found yourself wondering why, some people seem to navigate the financial world with this effortless grace?
Yeah, while others seem to spend their entire lives just caught in a relentless cycle of payments and obligations.
Exactly. It's a question that echoes in the minds of so many of us, isn't it?
It really is.
Well, today we're embarking on a deep dive into a book that has genuinely transformed how millions think about money.
Robert Kiyosaki's Rich Dad, Poor Dad. A game changer for many.
Absolutely. Rich Dad, Poor Dad, a guide to financial freedom. And the thing is, this isn't your typical dense, jargon-filled finance textbook.
No, not at all. It doesn't demand you already speak its language.
Right, far from it. Instead, Kiyosaki frames his powerful lessons within this really compelling narrative. He calls it a kind of spicy story.
I like that analogy. It makes these abstract concepts feel, well, intensely personal and immediately relevant.
Yeah, think of it like that surprisingly delicious dish that completely transforms your meal. It's designed not just to inform, but to spark a real shift in perspective.
A fundamental shift, really.
So our mission in this deep dive is to extract the most potent nuggets of wisdom from this book.
Translating its profound teachings into insights and crucially actionable steps that resonate with your own financial journey.
We're kind of offering a shortcut here, helping you become exceptionally well-informed about money, bypassing the usual complexity.
Getting straight to the core ideas.
We've uncovered some fascinating excerpts that promise to challenge your assumptions, make you think deeply about money, about life, about those dreams you might have tucked away.
It should be illuminating.
So settle in, because this is going to be like a captivating conversation with, insightful friends, engaging, thought-provoking.
And hopefully full of those aha moments.
Exactly, those moments that fundamentally reframe your understanding.
Okay, let's dive in.
Right. So, at the very heart of Rich Dad, Poor Dad is Robert Kiyosaki's foundational premise, this vivid, contrasting story of two distinct fathers.
Yes, these two figures profoundly shaped his understanding of wealth, work, life itself.
And it's not just a biographical detail, is it? It's the lens through which every single lesson is presented.
Absolutely, it sets the whole stage.
So, on one side, we have the poor dad.
This was Robert's biological father. Highly educated, multiple degrees, a dedicated teacher.
Yeah, hardworking. And his philosophy revolved around that conventional path, didn't it?
Totally. Study hard, get good grades, find a secure job with benefits, work for a reliable pension.
It's the traditional wisdom many of us grew up with, valuing stability, the steady paycheck, the career ladder.
Above all else, really, he was the embodiment of working for money.
Trading time and effort for a fixed income, diligently managing life around that paycheck.
You probably know someone like that, right? That dedicated professional, maybe an uncle, meticulously planning around their salary.
Exactly. That's the poor dad archetype.
Then there's the rich dad.
Right. Not a biological relative, but his best friend's father.
A remarkably successful businessman, an entrepreneur.
And his perspective on money was, well, radically different.
Completely. Rich Dad believed education was paramount, yes, but not just academic degrees.
He talked about cultivating a robust financial mind, right?
Precisely. Seeing learning as a continuous process of understanding how money truly operates, how it can be leveraged, how systems can be built to generate wealth.
He was the kind of person who seemed to expand his wealth effortlessly, not by working harder for money,
but by making money work harder for him.
Imagine that savvy business owner in your town, the one with multiple ventures, each generating income.
Giving them a freedom few achieve. That's the rich dad archetype, focused entirely on creating or acquiring assets.
Assets that would generate income independently, liberating his time and energy.
And what's truly fascinating here, what Rich Dad really highlighted, is that the distinction wasn't primarily about their income levels.
That's a key point. Income doesn't always equal wealth or freedom.
Exactly. It was a fundamental divergence in their mindsets, their core philosophies about money itself.
Which raises that important question for all of us.
What are the foundational lessons about money that wealthy individuals teach their kids? Lessons often overlooked or even contradicted in poor and middle-class homes.
The book doesn't just contrast them, it dives into the psychology of money, showing how financial education goes way beyond arithmetic.
It's about understanding how capital behaves and how it can be directed, a much deeper level of understanding.
That distinction in mindset is absolutely crucial, transformative even.
And it leads us straight into the cornerstone of Rich Dad's philosophy. Lesson 1.
The first and most pivotal lesson he drilled into Robert. Rich people don't work for money. Money works for them.
It sounds simple, but it's a fundamental inversion of how most people operate.
Think about it, your own experiences or people around you. Are you caught in that cycle, rushing to the office, trading hours for a paycheck?
Only to see that money vanish into bills and expenses.
Compare that to someone maybe quietly earning thousands each month from a rental property or dividends or an online business they built years ago.
That contrast is stark. One is on a treadmill, constantly running just to stay put.
While the other has built a system that generates income, allowing them to step off, control their own pace.
Indeed. And to really get this shift, we need Rich Dad's concept of assets versus liabilities.
He didn't just define them, he challenged the common understanding.
Right. An asset, he taught, is anything that puts money into your pocket. Simple definition.
Like rental property income, stock dividends, bonds, a business generating profit even when you're not there.
Exactly. Investments that boost your financial position, create positive cash flow.
And a liability.
Conversely, is anything that takes money out of your pocket.
And this is where he often surprised people, right? It's not just debt.
Not at all. He included things we often think are signs of wealth. That new car depreciating instantly, costing fuel, insurance.
The latest smartphone you upgrade every year.
Even a huge primary residence, if its costs consistently outweigh any income potential. He famously argued, your home isn't always an asset financially if it's mainly a cost center.
Which is controversial, but makes you think.
Definitely. The analogy he used was powerful. Rich people use their income to consistently acquire and build assets.
These assets then generate more money for them, like planting and nurturing a money tree.
Exactly. And that tree, once established, keeps bearing fruit. A steady, self-sustaining income stream.
It's about shifting from accumulating expensive stuff to accumulating income-generating resources.
A critical shift.
So what does this all mean for you as you make your own financial decisions?
Let's make it concrete.
Okay, imagine you suddenly have, say, $10,000 or euros or whatever your currency is. What's your first thought?
Be honest with yourself here.
Would you rush out and buy that shiny new car, knowing it loses value the second you drive it off the lot and keeps costing you money?
Fuel, insurance, maintenance. It adds up.
Or would you pause? Consider a more strategic move. Maybe use that $10,000 as a down payment on a small rental unit.
Or invest it in a diversified portfolio of dividend stocks. Something that could consistently generate, say, 200 units of currency every month.
Rich Dad's advice is crystal clear. Always invest in assets, because they will become your money tree.
It's not just about getting richer. It's about changing your entire financial trajectory. Building a future where money works for you.
Not you constantly working for it.
And the long-term impact of adopting that asset-focused mindset. It's profound.
We're talking generational wealth here, aren't we?
Exactly. This is how families move from just surviving paycheck to paycheck to genuinely thriving, creating a legacy.
Financial security, freedom for future generations.
It really boils down to seeing every dollar, every euro, every unit of currency as a choice.
Is it a seed you plant and nurture for future growth?
Or just a fleeting leaf that falls, withers, and disappears forever?
Your ability to make that distinction and act on it dictates your financial destiny. Powerful stuff.
Absolutely.
And that strategic long-term thinking, that deep understanding, it leads perfectly into lesson 2, which is arguably even more fundamental.
The indispensable value of financial education.
Right. And this goes way beyond what most of us learn in school.
Way beyond.
My poor dad, bless his heart, always gave the conventional advice. Go to school, get excellent grades, secure a good job.
The well-trodden path. Prioritizing academic achievement as the key trains you to be a good employee.
But Rich Dad, he offered that powerful, sometimes uncomfortable counter-argument.
That formal schooling mostly just doesn't equip you with practical financial literacy.
It prepares you to be a skilled worker, yes, a diligent employee, but not necessarily a savvy investor or an astute business owner.
It's like learning all the rules and history of baseball, but never actually learning how to swing a bat or catch a ball.
You might know about money, but you don't know how to make it work for you.
Two vastly different skill sets, and one has been largely missing from our education.
That's the critical gap for so many people.
Definitely. Financial education, as Rich Dad defined it, isn't about memorizing formulas. It's about understanding how money actually works in the real world.
Things like tax laws, investments, debt management, budgeting.
All of it. Grasping the power of compounding, mastering debt strategies, practical cash flow management, knowing the unspoken rules of the money game.
instead of just being a passive participant,
Right.
or worse, a pawn.
Right. And connecting this to the bigger picture, financial education isn't just about getting rich.
It's about empowerment, isn't it?
Exactly. Empowering yourself to make informed decisions that protect and grow your money, ensuring it serves your life goals, not becomes a source of stress.
Playing both offense and defense in your financial life with competence.
Precisely.
Let's make this real again, a practical example. Imagine your monthly income is, say, $5,000.
A common scenario.
It's so easy for that to just
Yeah.
vanish, right?
Yeah.
Impulse buys, eating out, subscriptions, entertainment.
Gone before you know it.
But what if you embraced financial education? What if, instead of spending it all, you committed to investing just $1,000 every single month?
Into a diversified mutual fund, maybe, or a similar long-term investment.
It might seem modest, just $1,000 a month, but the long-term impact.
It's astonishing, thanks to compounding. After, say, 20 years.
That consistent $1,000 a month can create a serious fortune. Hundreds of thousands, maybe millions, depending on returns.
Rich Dad's emphasis was clear. Study, but never stop studying money.
It's not a one-time thing. It's a lifelong pursuit, like any expertise.
You have to keep learning, keep refining.
And here's where it gets really captivating for me. It's about shifting from just earning money
To deeply understanding the flow of money, where it comes from, where it goes.
and how you can strategically direct it to multiply itself. Active engagement, conscious stewardship.
Not just passively accepting your paycheck as the final word.
And that shift leads us perfectly into lesson 3. Breaking free from the rat race.
Ah, the rat race. A term that resonates so deeply because it perfectly describes that trap.
That trap so many people feel stuck in.
So what exactly is it?
It's that perpetual, exhausting hamster wheel, right? Wake up early, rush to the job, long day, come home tired.
Your whole life consumed by earning just enough to pay the mortgage, clear the credit cards, service loans, cover daily costs.
You earn, you spend, earn, spend, and no matter how much your income might go up,
You never seem to actually get ahead.
it's a draining cycle. Minimal room for real financial growth, pursuing passions, or experiencing true freedom.
And the escape route, according to Rich Dad.
Passive income.
The holy grail for financial independence. Money that flows in even while you sleep, without trading hour for hour labor.
Things like rent from properties, dividends, royalties, business profits.
Exactly. Rent, dividends from stocks, royalties from books or music, profit from a business that's largely self-sustaining.
Which raises that crucial question for all of us.
How can you thoughtfully design your life so your income isn't exclusively tied to your active working hours?
Building multiple streams of income that flow in regardless of whether you're at your desk or on vacation.
Consciously building those streams.
So what does this mean for your daily grind? Your efforts to escape that cycle?
Let's use an example.
Imagine your friends spend their extra cash every weekend on immediate fun, enjoying their earnings now.
A common approach.
But you strategically took a lump sum, maybe a bonus, 2,000 units of currency, and instead of spending it,
You invested it.
right, maybe starting a small online venture, selling unique digital products or custom merchandise. You set it up, sourced items, started marketing,
Put in the initial effort.
and slowly, over time, that business starts generating, say, 100 units of currency every month, with minimal ongoing intensive effort from you.
That's passive income.
And that is the kind of income with the power to break the chains of the rat race.
Giving you breathing room, freedom, options.
It really shows that freedom isn't just about luck or inheritance, it's about strategically building income streams.
Which involves challenging conventional comfort zones.
Definitely. And that brings us straight to lesson 4, embracing smart risks.
Ah, yes, risk, where the two dads had very different views again.
My poor dad always preached safety. Avoid uncertainty, volatility, potential loss.
Prioritize stability, predictability, minimal exposure.
But Rich Dad's principle was different, more empowering. Learn to take risks, but learn first.
That's the key phrase.
Yeah.
Learn first. It's not about being reckless.
Not blind leaps or gambling. It's about calculated, informed decisions, weighing rewards against understood risks.
A critical distinction.
Think about that swimming pool analogy. Standing at the edge, scared of the deep end.
Intimidating, right? The unknown.
Your instinct might be to just avoid it. But then a skilled coach teaches you how to float, stroke, breathe, navigate safely.
Suddenly armed with knowledge and skill.
You jump in with confidence, not fear. The risk is still there technically, but your preparedness changes everything.
Precisely. Rich Dad taught Robert that anything with potential for significant return involves risk. That's a given.
In investing, in business, risk is inherent.
But with financial education, practical knowledge, you move beyond just taking risks to strategically taking smart risks.
So it's the difference between reckless gambling, leaving it to chance,
And calculated risk-taking, leveraging knowledge, research, insight to minimize downside and maximize upside potential.
empowering yourself with information before taking the leap, evaluating probabilities, informed decisions, not impulse or fear.
This disciplined approach turns potential pitfalls into real opportunities.
Let's apply this to something common, like the stock market.
Okay. A lot of people are interested but scared of losing money.
A totally understandable fear. It stops many people from even starting.
So Rich Dad wouldn't say avoid it.
No, his advice would be, first, immerse yourself in learning. Read about how it works, understand sectors, research companies, study trends.
Build that foundational knowledge.
Then, start small. Manageable investments. Amounts you're genuinely okay losing if the worst happens.
Dip your toes in, basically.
And gradually, as your knowledge grows, your confidence builds from these small experiments.
You can progressively expand your portfolio.
It's like learning to ride a bike, then a motorbike, then a car. Each step builds on the last. Risk feels smaller as skills grow.
A systematic progression.
And here's what's fascinating. It's about transforming that fear of the unknown
Into a calculated opportunity.
seeing uncertainty not as a barrier, but a challenge to be understood, navigated, and leveraged. A huge shift in perspective.
Truly transformative.
This idea of leveraging knowledge to overcome fear. It leads nicely to Lesson 5, harnessing your unique strengths.
This is a really profound one. About self-discovery, intrinsic value, creating real value.
Rich Dad famously said, every person possesses a unique skill or talent. Your task is to identify it and then transform it into a consistent source of income.
It's not about fitting into a predefined box. It's about recognizing your innate abilities.
Those things you do naturally, easily, that others might find difficult.
Think about that skilled artisan or that amazing baker in your neighborhood who earns good money selling their crafts or food.
Because they have a distinct mastery. They identified a skill, refined it.
And expertly turned it into a thriving business, leveraging something they genuinely love and excel at.
It's incredibly empowering. And it's more than just being entrepreneurial, right?
Absolutely. Rich Dad pushed Robert to identify his intrinsic strengths. Communication, writing, motivating people, problem solving, whatever they were.
And then figure out how to turn those into a business, a service, a product.
Connecting it to the bigger picture. It's about recognizing the profound value in your unique capabilities, finding ways to serve others with them.
Creating value where it didn't seem to exist before just by applying your natural passion and talent.
It makes chasing wealth feel less like a chore and more like an authentic extension of yourself.
Yeah.
A more sustainable path.
And potentially more fulfilling, too.
Definitely.
Let's take a relatable example. Photography. You love it. You're good at it.
You don't need huge capital to start.
Right. Start by showcasing your best photos online Instagram, a simple website. It costs almost nothing.
Share your talent freely at first.
As you consistently post quality work, build a following, show your unique style, people notice.
Inquiries start coming in. Wedding shoots, portraits, product photography.
What started as a passion, shared freely, systematically becomes a real income stream.
That's how you turn your strength into money. Identify, practice, improve, share, find the market.
So as you listen, think about your own unique, maybe untapped talents. What are you inherently good at?
What do you do with ease and enjoyment that others struggle with?
That skill, that ability could be the seed for your next money tree. Something to really consider.
It really could.
And as you cultivate those talents, you'll inevitably interact with different people.
Which brings us neatly to Lesson 6.
The immense, often underestimated power of association in building the right connection.
Yes, your network.
Rich Dad put it simply but profoundly. You become who you spend your time with.
It's not just a motivational quote. It's a deep truth about social influence, how our environment shapes us.
Think about it. If you consistently hang out with friends who only gossip, complain, or talk consumerism,
Your own thoughts, ambitions, financial habits will likely drift that way too. Subtly, maybe, but surely.
but if you intentionally spend time with people discussing business ideas, investments, personal growth, new skills,
Your mind instinctively orients towards those higher pursuits. Your environment acts as a powerful, often subconscious force.
shaping your thoughts, which shape your actions, which shape your financial reality.
So this lesson emphasizes intentionally curating your environment, being deliberate about who you surround yourself with.
The personal and financial growth.
It's not just transactional networking. It's building genuine relationships with people who challenge you, inspire you, offer diverse insights.
What's fascinating is the subtle but profound impact your social ecosystem has on your financial path.
It's about actively seeking mentors, knowledgeable peers, like-minded individuals who elevate your thinking.
People comfortable discussing financial concepts, willing to share experiences, lessons, strategies.
Rich Dad's saying holds true. Your net worth is deeply connected to the quality of your network.
Let's bring that down to earth. Your typical office lunch break.
Okay.
Maybe you usually sit with colleagues discussing TV shows or office politics.
Easy, comfortable conversation.
Now contrast that. Deliberately seeking out that insightful colleague, the one investing, reading business books, exploring side hustles.
Just by being near them, listening, asking curious questions.
You might pick up invaluable tips, discover resources, spark an idea. Slowly, you start moving forward financially.
Absorbing knowledge through osmosis, benefiting from direct advice.
Okay, let's unpack this. It really is about actively seeking out those who inspire and inform your financial journey.
Making a conscious choice about your inner circle. Recognizing their mindsets and habits will rub off on you.
Choose wisely. Your financial future might just depend on it.
A powerful realization.
So we've covered the 6 core principles from Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Now the crucial part. How do we translate this into action?
Making it practical, tangible.
First, and this is critical, create a disciplined budget and relentlessly focus on accumulating assets.
Discipline is key here.
Commit to saving a significant portion, 10–20% ideally, of your salary every single month. No excuses.
But don't just let it sit there.
Right. Immediately invest it. Mutual funds, stocks, maybe a small property if you can.
Think of it like that piggy bank analogy again, but this piggy bank grows into a fortune through smart investing and compounding.
Turn your income into wealth-generating assets that work for you.
Second, embrace financial education as a lifelong pursuit.
Don't wait for it to be handed to you. Take ownership.
Immerse yourself. Watch finance videos, listen to podcasts, read books, take courses.
Treat it like going to the gym for your physical fitness. You're getting your wallet fit.
The more you learn, the better your decisions become.
Third, learn to take small, calculated risks.
Calculated is the operative word, not reckless.
Apply the knowledge you're gaining. If you have, say, 500 extra bucks, don't blow it all on something fleeting. Maybe invest just 100 in a diversified index fund or an SIP. See how it performs. Learn from it.
It's a low-stakes way to get comfortable, witness compounding, without risking everything. Incremental learning through practical exposure.
And fourth, maybe the most liberating, actively discover and build multiple passive income streams.
Your ticket out of the rat race.
Even starting small. Got some capital? Got a skill? How can you make it generate income without trading your time constantly?
Maybe an online course.
Yeah.
Renting out a spare room.
The goal is income channels not solely reliant on your active hours, shifting from working for money to having money work for you.
This fundamentally lifts you out of that relentless grind.
Which brings us to a really important question for you listening right now.
Which of these steps feels most accessible, most compelling, most actionable for you to start today?
Even the smallest start, one conscious decision, can have huge long-term effects, setting you on a different, more empowering path.
The absolute key, like any journey, is simply to begin.
That's right. The journey to financial freedom starts with that single step.
And that really is the core takeaway from Rich Dad, Poor Dad.
It's not just about getting rich. It's a guide to genuine financial freedom.
It echoes that timeless wisdom, like your grandma might say, handle money carefully, or life will handle you.
A timeless lesson, giving new power. Kiyosaki, guided by Rich Dad, advises you to consciously deploy your money, activate it, make it work tirelessly.
The ultimate goal.
So one day you can live your dream life, free from financial constraints.
Whether that's vacations on a beach without worry,
or providing an amazing education for your kids. Or just that deep peace of mind from financial security.
This book, this deep dive, gives you the foundation to make those dreams real.
So the next time you see your paycheck hit your account or you get that bill reminder, pause.
Just for a moment, remember Rich Dad's principles. Give your money a chance, an instruction, to work for you, to grow.
Don't just let it vanish or get consumed by liabilities that drain your future.
Because, as Rich Dad so profoundly said, and this is the ultimate principle, money should be your servant. You should never, ever be money's slave.
So what insights from this deep dive will you apply first to start or maybe accelerate your own journey to financial freedom?
The power to reshape your financial future is genuinely in your hands.
Thank you for joining us on the deep dive.